Okay, ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uh, in the last class, we discussed first 5 questions of this class activity, right? And in today's class, we are gonna work upon the next 5 questions which are given into this class activity. Now let's read question number 6, which is about arc elasticity. And in the previous class, I let you know about that what is the function of an arc elasticity. Uh, Let me repeat my words again, that arc elasticity is a concept of elasticity within which we find out elasticity of demand or elasticity of supply upon the two or more than 2 points of any demand or supply curve. So finding out elasticity at one specific point will provide us point elasticity. However, however, when we are interested to find elasticity upon two or more than 2 points, whenever the combined elasticity is to be found by any person, then he or she will have to use the concept of arc elasticity. If elasticity is to be found upon two or more than 2 points of demand curve, then we will use the concept of arc elasticity of demand. And whenever we are looking to find elasticity at two or more than 2 points of supply curve, then the concept of elasticity will be called as arc elasticity of supply, right? So now let's start answering question number 6 to 10 so that we could have a practical understanding that how the questions related to arc elasticity of demand and arc elasticity of supply can be handled using this particular table. Now let's move towards question number 6. Here comes question number 6. Now let us define elasticity's concept first. The ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in price of guitar is called as arc elasticity of demand with respect to price. However, the arc elasticity of demand could be used to find out elasticity at two or more than 2 points on any given demand curve or supply curve. In case when we would like to find out combined elasticity of two or more than 2 points on any given demand curve, then we will use arc elasticity of demand to find out our answer. So this is the understanding of arc elasticity of demand. The formula of arc elasticity of demand can be written as arc elasticity of demand within bracket, it is price equals percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Furthermore, the percentage change in quantity demanded can be written as change in quantity demanded divided by. Earlier we used to write quantity demanded over here, but now in case of arc elasticity of demand, we will be writing instead of quantity demanded, this QD will be replaced with average quantity demanded of the given points. Then a sign of divide will appear in the formula instead of fraction sign, instead of the place of fraction. Then percentage change in price can be written as change in price divided by price, but it wasn't too simple formula. But in case of arc elasticity, we will have change in price as it is, but in place of price we would have average price of the given points. Since here we what we need to do, we need to use the both points if we are given 2 points, right? So finding elasticity between 2 or between 3 points is arc elasticity, right? So here we do not need to write one price. Here we need to take an average of all the prices what we are given, right? So that is why here the word average appears. So change in price divided by average price of the given points. So in simplified form, change in quantity demanded can be written as delta QD, whereas average quantity demanded of the given points can be written as QD at first point A, QD at second point B, and after summing the both, we will divide it upon 2 to obtain our answer in the form of average quantity demanded of the given points. What if there would be 4 points? Then in that case, we will be using the quantity demanded of all the 4 points and then taking sum of all the quantity demanded of the 4 points and then dividing upon number of quantity demanded. Since there are 4 points, so we have 4 quantity demanded at 4 different points differently. Then the sum of all the quantity demanded will be divided upon 4 to obtain average quantity demanded of the 4 points. What if the points are increased from 4 to 8? Then in that case, we will be adding all the 8 quantity demanded and dividing the sum upon 8 to obtain average quantity demanded of the 8 points, and so on, right? So in our case, since into this table, if you look at the table, let me copy the table again. Where is that? Here it is. So let us copy this table from here and paste it over here, right? So here is the table. Look at these points. We are given 2 points, A and B. So that is why we are dividing the sum of the 2 quantity demanded upon 2 to obtain average quantity demanded. And in the same way, the divide sign appears as it is, then change in price can be written as delta P, and average price of the given points can be written as price at point B plus price at point, price at point A plus price at point B, and the sum will be divided upon 2 to obtain average price of the given points. Similarly, this formula can be written as the sign of division will be converted into sign of multiplication. Then the fraction which is given on the right hand side of this formula after division, so the denominator into price fraction can be converted into numerator, and the numerator of this price fraction can be converted into denominator. The reason behind it that we have changed this sign of division into sign of multiplication. So the quantity demanded fraction remains as it is, delta QD divided by QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum is divided upon 2, multiply by PA plus PB. The sum is divided upon 2, divided by delta P. This formula can further be written as delta QD over delta P multiply by PA plus PB. The sum is divided upon 2 divided by QD at point A plus QD at point B divided by 2. Or arc elasticity of demand with respect to price can be written as QD delta QD over delta P multiply by P bar over QD bar, right? So P bar is average price of 2 points divided by QD bar is average quantity demanded of the given 2 points, right? While QD bar equals QDA plus QDB divided by 2, P bar equals PA plus PB, the whole sum is divided upon 2. Now let's start answering the question. We are given this table. Now we have to find out arc elasticity of demand with respect to price. As we know that this is the formula that we have found in the simplified form. Within this formula, we have four informations like delta QD, delta P, P bar, and QD bar. Within these four informations, now let us find out our required components. Firstly, we will be finding delta QD. Delta QD is the difference between the quantity demanded of 2 points, QD at point B minus QD at point A. QD at point B is 150 and at point A it is 50. Sorry, at point A it is 200. So 150 minus 200 equals minus 50. Okay, this is delta QD. Now let's move towards delta P. It is the second component, which is price at point B minus price at point A. To price at point B it is given 30 and price at point A it is given 25. The difference is plus 5. So this is the second component of our formula. Now let's move towards the third component, which is QD bar, and it is equals to QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Quantity demanded at point A it is given 200. Quantity demanded at point B it is given 150. The sum is equals to 350 and it is divided upon 2 to obtain answer in the form of 175. So QD bar is the third component of the formula, and the fourth component is P bar, which is price at point A plus price at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Price at point A is given 25 while price at point B is given 30. The sum is become 55 and it is divided upon 2 to obtain answer 27.5. So P bar equals 27.5 is the fourth component of our formula. Look at this formula. Delta QD, which is equals to minus 50. Delta P we have found plus 5. P bar we have found 27.5 and QD bar we have found 175. Now, after finding all the four components of the arc elasticity of demand with respect to price, now we are going to substitute the values of all these four components into this formula to obtain our finalized answer. Okay, after substituting the values, we obtain minus 50 on place of delta QD, plus 5 on place of delta P, multiply, then on place of P bar we have obtained 27.5 and on place of QD bar we have obtained 175. So minus 50 multiplied by 27.5, we obtain answer 1375 and it is in negative. Then 5 into 175 to obtain answer 875. So 1375 divided by 875, the resultant answer is 1.5714, right? So minus 1.5714 is going to be arc elasticity of demand with respect to price. Okay, now let's interpret this coefficient. The answer of arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of guitar is found to be minus 1.5714, which shows that if average price of guitar, right, since we have the average price of the 2 points, so if average price of guitar at both points, yeah, of 2 points A and B increases by 1%, then the average quantity demanded for guitar of both points will decrease by 1.5714%. Since the sign is negative, that is why average price of guitar is increasing by 1% and average quantity demanded for guitar is decreasing by 1.5714%. Moreover, the absolute value of arc elasticity of demand at both points with respect to price is found to be 1.5714. Since it is an absolute value, that is why we have written this plus 1.5714. 1,4. The plus is appeared because of absolute term. The function of absolute is to convert all the negative values into positive values. Since the answer is greater than unity, but it is less than plus infinity, that is why there prevails more elastic relation between average price of guitar and average quantity demanded for guitar at both points. Up till here, we have answered question number 6. Now let's move towards question number 7, which is finding out arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. So now let's define the definition, or let's define arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. Okay, the definition is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in income of the consumer is called as arc elasticity of demand with respect to income. As we know that, what do we know that? The formula for arc elasticity of demand with respect to income equals percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Earlier it was price on in place of income, but after replacing price with income, the formula should become percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income, right? Okay, let's define what is percentage change in quantity demanded. Now let's take change in quantity demanded and dividing change in quantity demanded upon average quantity demanded of the given points. Then this fraction can be converted into sign of division. Percentage change in income can be written as change in income divided by average income of the given points. Okay, change in quantity demanded can further be written as delta QD. Look at this step, delta QD, and average quantity demanded can be written as QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Then sign of division appears. Change in income can be written as delta I divided by average income of the given points can be written as IA plus IB. The sum is divided upon 2. This step can further be written as the sign of division is changed with the sign of multiplication. Then this denominator will be converted into numerator, and this delta I, which is a numerator over here, will be written in the form of denominator into the next step. So you could see here that delta QD over average quantity demanded of 2 points multiply by average income of 2 points divided by delta I. It can be further written as, delta QD. Here it is written delta I. So I'm going to convert these delta terms into one fraction into the next step, which is delta QD over delta I multiply by average income of 2 points divided by average quantity demanded of 2 points. Or it can further be written as the averages will be represented with the term bar. So delta QD over delta I multiply by I bar over QD bar, right? Whereas QD bar is average quantity demanded of 2 points, while I bar represents average income of 2 points. We are given with the table. Here we are given income at 2 points, right? 9,500 at point A and 8,500 at point B. Whereas the information regarding quantity demanded remains same, which is 200 and 150. Let's start our solution. We are given with the formula. Arc elasticity of demand with respect to income equals delta QD over delta I multiplied by I bar over QD bar. Delta QD is the difference between the quantity demanded of 2 points. 150 is quantity demanded at point B, while 200 is the quantity demanded at point A. The difference is minus 50. So the first component, which is delta QD, is found to be minus 50. it was minus 50 even in the previous case, and it is remained as it is because the quantities have not been changed. That is why delta QD remains minus 50 even into question number 7 as well. Now let's move towards delta I, which is the difference between the income of the 2 points. IB minus IA is the formula. Income at point B is given 8500 and income at point A is given 9500. So difference is 8500 minus 9500 equals minus 1000. So delta I is the second component of the formula and it is found to be minus 1000. Then QD bar is the third component of the formula, which is QD at point A plus QD at point B, and the sum is divided upon 2. So quantity demanded at point A is given 200 and it is given 150 at second point. So the sum is 350 and it is divided upon 2 to give you an answer in the form of 175. So average quantity demanded, which is QD bar, is found to be 175. Now this is the third component. Now let's move towards the fourth component, which is I bar, and the formula is income at point A plus income at point B divided upon 2. So income at point A is given 9500, income at point B is given 8500. The sum is 1800 divided upon 2. The answer is, when 1800 is divided upon 2, the answer becomes 900, right? So you could see from here, which is highlighted. So this is the 4 component. After finding out all the 4 components, now let's substitute their values into the formula, which is arc elasticity of demand with respect to income equals delta QD over delta I multiplied by I bar over QD bar. On place of delta QD, we have replaced its value, which is minus 50. On place of delta I, we have replaced its value, which is minus 1000. Then sign of multiplication appears. In place of I bar, we have replaced its value, which is 900. And in place of QD bar, we have replaced its value, which is 175. So multiplying 50 with 900 to obtain 45,000 and multiplying 1000 with 175 to obtain answer 175,000, right? So three zeros are cancelled out. The left answer is 45 divided by 175. The plus sign is appeared because of negative turns to positive, right? So that is why we have written plus over here. After dividing 45 upon 175, we have obtained answer in the form of 0.2571, right? The answer is plus and it is greater than 0. I'll be explaining that why it is what is the meaning of when it is greater than 0. The answer of arc elasticity of demand with respect to income of a consumer is found to be plus 0.2571, which shows that if average income of the consumer at both given points increases by 1%, then what is its meaning? If average income of the consumer at both given points increases by 1%, then average quantity demanded for guitar at both given points will increase by 0.2571%. Since the sign is positive, that is why by increasing average income by 1%, the average quantity demanded for guitar will also increase by 0.2571%. Since the arc elasticity of demand with respect to income is evident as positive, therefore, consumer is consuming normal good. This is something that I have already explained in my previous class, that when income elasticity of demand is found to be positive, irrespective whether it is point or an arc, if income elasticity of demand is positive, then consumer will be using normal good. And if it is negative, then a consumer will be using inferior good, right? There is another type of the product which is called a special class of inferior good, which is called Giffen good, right? So for Giffen good, income elasticity of demand is negative, but when you check for price elasticity of demand for Giffen goods, you would eventually find the answer. You will eventually find the answer in the form of positive price elasticity of demand for Giffen goods. So for Giffen goods, we have positive sloped demand curve. That is why the price elasticity of demand for Giffen good will always be positive, whether it is point or whether it is arc, right? So in both cases, the price elasticity of demand in case of Giffen goods will be positive. So you can easily differentiate inferior and Giffen goods on the basis of its price elasticity of demand. And inferior and normal goods can be easily differentiated on the basis of income elasticity of demand, irrespective of point or arc elasticities concept, right? Moreover, the value of elasticity of demand at both points with respect to income is found to be 0.2571, which is less than unity but greater than zero, right? Since it is less than unity but it is greater than zero, therefore there prevails less elastic or inelastic relation between average income of the consumer and average quantity demanded for guitar at both points. Up till here we have answered question number 7. Now let's move towards question number 9. Question number 8, which is about finding elasticity of demand with respect to gross price, or with respect to price of related good, or with respect to price of alternate product. So we are finding out arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good. The definition is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded for guitar to the percentage change in cross price or price of related good, like price of mandolin is called as cross price arc elasticity of demand, or arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of mandolin. As we know that the formula is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price of related good, divided by the formula is completed. Now this formula can further be written as arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good equals percentage change in quantity demanded can further be written as change in quantity demanded divided by average quantity demanded of the given points. Then in place of fraction we have written its sign, which is division sign. Then percentage change in price of related good is written as change in price of related good divided by average price of related good of the given points. Change in quantity demanded can be written into next step as delta QD, and average quantity demanded can be written as QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Then sign of division can remain as it is over here even into the next step. Then delta PR is written on place of change in price of related good, and for average price of the given for average price of related good of the given 2 points can be written as PR at point A plus PR at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Into the next step, the sign of division is replaced with the sign of multiplication, and then we will convert the price of related goods fraction by changing the numerator into denominator and denominator into numerator. And into the further next step, the arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good can be written as delta QD over delta PR multiplied by PR at point A plus PR at point B. The sum is divided upon 2 divided by QD at point A plus QD at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Or arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good equals delta QD over delta PR multiplied by PR bar over QD bar. Okay, now let's start our solution. This is the information which we are given. Now let's start our solution. As we know that arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good is equals to delta QD over delta PR multiplied by PR bar over QD bar. So into this formula, we have four components like delta QD, delta PR, PR bar, and QD bar. Now let's answer delta QD first, which is the difference between the quantity demanded of the 2 points, like QD at point B minus QD at point A. QD at point B is given 150 minus QD at point A is given 200. So difference is minus 50. Then delta PR equals price of related good at point B minus price of related good at point A. So 30 minus 35 equals minus 5. Then let's talk about QD bar, which is QDA plus QDB plus, divided by 2. So QD at point A is 200, QD at point B is 150, the sum is 350, then divide it upon 2. So we obtain 175 as QD bar. Now let's move towards PR bar, which is PRA plus PRB divided by 2. PR bar equals 35 can be written on place of PRA plus 30 is written in place of PRB. So the sum becomes 65. So 65 is divided upon 2 to give you an answer 32.5, which is average price of related goods of 2 points. So up till here we have found all the four components of the formula. Now let's substitute all of components value into the formula of arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price. Now in place of delta QD we have substituted its value, which is minus 50, and in place of delta PR we have substituted its value, which is minus 5. So after this fraction, now let's move towards average price of related good, which is 32.5, and average quantity demanded of 2 points is 175. So multiply 50 with 32.5, we have obtained answer in the form of 1625. And when we multiply 5 with 175, the answer is in 875's form, right? So dividing 1625 upon 875 to obtain answer is obtain answer as 1.8571. And when you multiply negative with negative, the answer should be positive. So the answer we have obtained is plus 1.8571. Therefore, the answer of arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of Madeline is found to be plus 1.8571, which shows that if average price of Madeline at both given points increases by 1%, then average quantity demanded for guitar at both points will increase by 1.8571%, right? Since the average price of related good like price of Madeline is increased by 1%, therefore the quantity demanded, average quantity demanded for guitar at both points is decreasing by 1.8571%. Since the cross price elasticity of demand or arc elasticity of demand with respect to cross price like price of Madeline is found to be positive, therefore both guitar and Madeline are substitute goods to each other. As we know that when Madeline is become expensive, meaning that if price of Madeline is increased by 1%, then the quantity demanded for Madeline will decrease. Hence, the number of consumers of Madeline will switch towards the consumption of guitar. Therefore, number of consumers will increase in the guitar industry. That is why the demand for guitar will increase. Resultantly, quantity demanded for guitar will go up. Therefore, the price of Madeline and quantity demanded for guitar has positive relation to one another. Therefore, it concludes that both guitar and Madeline are substitute musical instruments to one another, right? Moreover, the arc elasticity of demand with respect to price of related good like price of Madeline at both given points is found to be plus 1.8571, which is greater than unity but less than plus infinity. Therefore, there prevails more elastic relation between average price of Madeline and average quantity demanded for guitar at both given points. After answering all the 8 questions, now let's move towards the question number 9, which is about finding out arc elasticity of supply with respect to price. Let's define arc elasticity of supply with respect to price by saying that it is the ratio of the percentage change in quantity supplied for guitar. It is quantity supplied of guitar to the percentage change in price of guitar is called as arc price elasticity of supply or arc elasticity of supply with respect to price. It can be written as arc elasticity of supply with respect to price equals percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price. Arc elasticity of supply with respect to price can further be written as, instead of percentage change in quantity supplied, we will replace it as change in quantity supplied divided by average quantity supplied of the given points. Then the fraction is written in the form of a sign division. Then percentage change in price can be written as change in price divided by average price of the given points. In the next step, what we have done is that we have replaced change in quantity supplied with the delta QS and average quantity supplied of the given points as QS at point A plus QS at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. Then sign of division appears. In place of change in price, we have written it as delta P divided by price at point A plus price at point B divided by 2. Or the fraction in the form of uh, division sign will be replaced with the sign of multiplication, and now the entire fraction, like the entire formula has become delta QS over average quantity supplied of 2 points multiplied by average price of 2 points divided by delta P. Then in the next step, uh, delta's term has been written into one fraction. So delta QS divided by delta P multiply by average price of 2 points divided by average quantity supplied of 2 points. Or it can further be written as delta QS over delta P multiply by P bar over QS bar. Whereas QS bar is the average quantity supplied of 2 points, while P bar is the average price of 2 points. Now let's start answering the question by saying that, as we know that this is the formula of cross price elasticity of supply. Let me highlight it for you people. Into this formula, we again have 4 components: delta QS, delta P, P bar, and QS bar. What is delta QS? It is QS at point B minus QS at point A. So 250 minus 150, the answer has become plus 100. So how do we know that QS at point A is 250? It is given into this table. Quantity supplied at point A is 150 and it is 250 at point B, right? Let me highlight it for you people as well. So the difference is plus 100. Now this is the first component of the formula. Delta P is equals to PB minus PA. PB is 30 and PA is 25. The difference is plus 5. This is the second component. Then QS bar equals QS at point A plus QS at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. The answer is 150 plus 200 divided by 2 equals 400 divided by 2 equals 200. So QS bar is 200. So This is the third component of the formula, and let's move towards the fourth component, which is P bar. PA plus PB divided by 2. PA is 25, PB is 30. The sum is 55, and when it is divided upon 2, the answer will be 27.5. Okay, let's substitute all the four components into the formula. The formula is delta QS over delta P multiplied by P bar over QS bar. Delta QS is 100, delta P is 5, P bar is 27.5, and QS bar is 200. So after substituting their values, the answer should be, when you multiply 100 with 27.5, the result is 2750, right? 100 multiplied by 27.5, the answer is 2750. And when you multiply 5 with 200, the answer should be 1000. So by dividing 2750 upon 1000, we will obtain 2.75. So plus 2.75 is your answer of arc elasticity of supply with respect to price. The answer of arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of guitar is found to be plus 2.75, which shows that if average price of guitar of both points increases by 1%, then average quantity supplied for guitar of both points will increase by 2.75%, right? Moreover, the arc elasticity of supply at both points with respect to price is found to be plus 2.75, which is greater than unity but less than plus infinity. Therefore, there exists more elastic relation between average price of guitar and average quantity supplied of guitar at both points. Up till here, we have answered all the 9 questions. Now let's move towards question number 10, which is finding out arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or price of related good, price of related good like price of medaline. Now, firstly, define arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price. The ratio of percentage change in quantity supplied of guitar to the percentage change in cross price or price of related good like price of medaline is called as arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of medaline. The formula further the formula can further be written as cross price arc elasticity of supply equals arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good, price of related good equals percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price of related good. So this is the formula. Now if we would move towards the next step, the percentage change in quantity supplied can further be written as change in quantity supplied divided by average quantity supplied of the given points. Then sign of division appears. Percentage change in price of related good can be written as change in price of related good divided by average price of related good of the given points. Change in quantity supply can be written as delta QS, and average quantity supplied of 2 points is written as QS at point A plus QS at point B divided by 2. Then the sign of division appears. Change in price of related good is replaced with delta PR, and average price of related good of 2 points is replaced with PR at point A plus PR at point B, then the sum is divided upon 2, or arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good is written as delta QS over average quantity supplied of 2 points multiplied by average price of related goods of 2 points divided by delta PR. In the next step, delta QS over delta PR multiplied by average price of related goods of 2 points divided by average quantity supplied of 2 points. The step can further be written as arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good equals delta QS over delta PR multiplied by PR bar over QS bar, whereas PR bar is price of related good at point A plus price of related good at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. While QS bar is QS at point A plus QS at point B, the sum is divided upon 2. Now let's answering the question after defining and writing the formula. The formula is arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good equals delta QS over delta PR multiplied by PR bar over QS bar. Delta QS is equals to QS at point B minus QS at point A. The quantity supplied at point B is 250 and quantity supplied at point A is 150. When we subtract 150 from 250, we will obtain 100 in the form of plus, in the form of positive number. So it is plus 100. So this is the first component of the formula. Delta PR is the second component, which is PR at point B minus PR at point A. PR at point B is 30 and it is 35 at point A. So when you subtract 35 from 30, the answer should be minus 5. Now this is the second component. QS bar equals QS at point A plus QS at point B divided by 2. QS at point A is given 150, it is given 250 at point B. When you sum the both numbers, the answer should be 400. When you divide it upon 2, the answer should become 200. So QS bar is equals to 200, which is the third component of the formula. PR bar is equals to PR at point A plus PR at point B. The sum is divided upon 2. PR at point A is given 35 and it is given 30 at point B. When you sum the both, the answer should be 65, and when you divide it upon 2, the answer should be 32.5. Okay, now substituting all the four components into the formula. In place of delta QS, we have replaced its value, which is 100. Delta P is given minus 5 multiplied by PR bar, we have found 32.5, while QS bar, we have found 200. So when you multiply 100 with 32.5, the answer should be 3250. And when you multiply 5 with 200, the answer should be 1000. So 3250 divided by 1000, the answer should be 3.25. Since plus minus multiplied and the result is minus, therefore the coefficient of arc elasticity of supply with respect to price of related good like price of Madeline is found to be minus 3.25. The answer of arc elasticity of supply with respect to cross price or price of related good like price of Madeline is found to be minus 3.25, which shows that if average price of Madeline at both points A and B increases by 1%, then the average quantity supplied for guitar at both points A and B will decrease by 3.25%. As you can see that the price of guitar, if it is increased, then resultantly if price of if price of Madeline is increased, then incentive to supply Madeline will also increase. That is why the quantity supply for Madeline will increase since its price has increased. But think about the suppliers of guitar, the people who were investing into guitars industry. think about them when they were looking at Madeline, they will find incentive into Madeline when they compare Madeline with guitar. So they would like to switch their investments from the guitar industry to the Madeline industry or Madeline firm, and resultant the number of suppliers in uh, Madeline's industry will increase, while number of suppliers in guitar industry will fall. Resultantly, the quantity supply of guitar will fall while quantity supply of mandolin will increase. So what happens when price of mandolin will go up? Resultantly, the quantity supply for guitar will come down. Hence, they will make a negative relation to one another. The price of one good is negatively associated with the quantity supply for second good. That is why we can simply conclude that both mandolin and guitar from the music instruments are substitute goods to one another, right? So in case of demand, when you talk about substitute goods, when cross price elasticity of demand is positive, but cross price elasticity of supply is negative, then the goods are said to be substitute goods. If the cross price elasticity of demand is negative, while cross price elasticity of supply is positive, then the two goods are called as complementary goods, right? Moreover, the absolute value of arc elasticity of supply at both points with respect to gross price is found to be 3.25. Since we have taken an absolute value, that is why the negative 3.25 has become positive 3.25, which is greater than unity but less than plus infinity. Therefore there prevails more elastic relation between average price of mandolin and average quantity supplied of guitar at both points. So you can simply understand that when average price of mandolin is increased by 1%, resultantly quantity demand, average quantity supplied for guitar will decrease by 3.25% since the sign is negative, and since it is greater than unity in absolute terms, that is why it shows more elastic relation. So price of mandolin has a more elastic relation with the quantity supply for guitar in average terminologies. Up till here, we have answered all the 10 questions, and the one last component related to the elasticity is left, which is relating the concept of elasticity with total revenue. When we would come to know that if a product is less elastic, so what strategy must be adopted or followed by a firm to increase its revenue, while if a product is more elastic, then what must be the strategy of a firm to increase its revenue, whether to cut down the price or to raise the level of prices, right? So this is the final component which we are left with. Let me move towards opening up an